Hey, everybody, this is Mary.
And this is Julie.
And you are listening to the High Priestess Hype Club. I hope everybody out there is doing well. Welcome to the High Priestess Hype Club podcast. Yeah. I am Mary Dell. And I'm with...
Hey, it's Julie.
Hey, guys. And we have a jam-packed show for you. Tonight, we have decided to do some work in bringing you information that's going to help you through the month. So we have a great astrological forecast for you. Julie's got some really cool kitchen witchery or like just magic throughout your day stuff. And we wanted to start out with intentional rest. So how you can do things to intentionally rest throughout your day or on your weekend, whenever you have time. But
yes.
But Julie, we haven't been here for a while. We should probably update people on how life's going. Yeah.
No, we haven't been here in a while. Hey, everybody. Let's see. Life's been busy. Got a promotion at my day job, which is very exciting, but also taking up some more time. Let's see. Kids are good. Back at dance like 4 or 5 days a week, like trying to do a lot of intentional self-care. Hey.
We're taking our own advice. How amazing is that?
We're trying. It's been a long time since I did that. Am I journaling yet? No. Do I still think about it? More than I used to.
Hey, we're doing our best every day, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Mary?
Oh,
what about Mary?
The saint is still the saint. Bless her heart. She's still the saint, still hanging out with her every day. And I graduated with a master's of art in spirituality.
Yay! Woo!
So, so now the next piece of that, of course, I Can't Rest, is the Traveling Soul Sanctuary, which is here for people to join. It's free, but it's a community for you to join us and to come to services and learn things. The website is thetravelingsoulssanctuary.com. Please check it out, sign up for the mailing list, and there'll be a lot more events and a lot more ideas coming your way. But June 1st is our big launch. And so if it's after June 1st, go check out the website. Let me know what you think. Let us know what you think about the podcast. We always love your feedback. So
it'll be after June 1st.
Yeah.
And we'll put it in it. Yeah. And we'll put it in the show notes so people can get to the link pretty easily too.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta hype you up. Hype club.
That's right, guys. That's right. All right, Jill. So we should talk about some intentional rest because I think your idea was amazing.
Well, that's very kind of you. Born from being busy at work and it's the end of the school year and there's no time to do anything for yourself almost. I figured, well, what can we do that's not too difficult, but still kind of witchy? So in June, a good herb to focus on is like lavender. It's very in season. It's good for calming, restoration. Get that lavender latte. You can caffeine up, but still have some calm energy in your life. You don't have to be totally manic. You can just be energized, but clear-headed. So if you get like a lavender latte, you get like a lemon cookie, you get like maybe make something with rose water in it, especially if you like Mediterranean food or Indian food that can have some of that in it. When you have it, you can just when you're holding your food or holding your latte, if you use Reiki symbols or, you want to draw a pentacle on it, or you just want to hold it and think about it, just put your intention, whatever you're going to have. Just take a moment, think about it, be a little intentional, and then you can just drink that good energy in or eat it up, or we can make it easy. You don't always have to be a from scratch kitchen witch.
I was just going to say, I love how practical this is because I think a lot of us, as someone who I consider myself a magical practitioner, I still forget at times, like we can do something this simple and it can be so powerful. And you use your intentions there. It's just going to make it even better. It adds a little magic to it, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Magic, manifestation, intention, whatever word you want to use. We like magic, but use whatever is going to work for you.
Oh, yeah. Or just make a cup of tea with those.
Oh, yeah.
You might already have all of that in your own kitchen.
Exactly.
I did buy some lavender syrup. I should probably use it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was online with you when you bought it.
I think you were too. I was like, let's do this. Click, click.
I think we were cruising on Amazon together looking at shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Practical,
Practical.
functional, fashion, trade, witchery. There you go, guys.
There you
Um,
go.
yeah. And so that's our kitchen witchery part.
Hey.
Kitchen witchery. And then also, I think for folks who are out there doing some intentional rest kind of stuff,
Yeah.
you can be walking down the street and take 5 minutes to like just stand in the sun. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Just pull that good energy. And we get vitamin D again, people.
Mhm.
It's not the winter anymore.
That's right.
Pull it on in, or even just rainy spring.
Yes. I think, really getting close to nature right now,
Yeah.
especially coming up to the summer solstice in June, to really enjoy the summer that we have. I don't know where you're listening from, but I hope it's summertime wherever you're listening from. But just enjoy the rays of the sun. I mean, those charge us up, they bring us lights. I feel like they make us happy just being outside for 5 minutes. So when I was in corporate, and I still do this at home sometimes, is I used to walk around the building.
Yeah.
Even if I just, I was in between meetings and I had 15 minutes. I would just like go out for 10 minutes, walk around the building, come back in, get ready for my next meeting.
Yes.
It made a difference.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and from being from Boston, we don't get as many sunny days as everybody else does. So, right. So, yeah. So there's some intentional rest for you guys, enjoy it. And it doesn't have to be a lot, and it doesn't have to be real planned out, and it doesn't have to be real formal. I mean, I think the
It
spirit
can only be a couple minutes. Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think the spirits know we just don't have all the time and we want to connect. So here's how we can do it. All right. So we got some astrology to talk about too, Jules.
Oh, and we know Mary knows all of this astrology stuff so well. So prepare for Mary to talk and me ask questions. Here we go.
Jules, you know more than you let on. I'm going to say it that way. So I wanted to talk first of all about, we're kind of starting out June really in a real thoughtful place. So we're really using our minds and our logic. And the reason why is on June 3rd, Mercury, which is the planet of communication, moves into the sign of Gemini. And if you know Geminis out there, they're talkers, they're socializers, they're people who can get a little scattered. So be real aware of that because your communication planet is being affected by that energy of Gemini.
Mm.
So the great thing is if you need to do research or you need to figure something out for yourself, use your mind. I think that's going to be really important. And also, don't be afraid to tap on people's shoulders because conversations can happen right now that can be really worthwhile.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this is the time if you're going to maybe ask for a raise, look for something to come your way. Mercury and Gemini can help with that. And then if we layer on also on June 6th, there's a new moon in Gemini.
Ooh, yes.
New intent.
Look, we're trying. Yes. Just so you guys know, what was it around Imulk? I was like, we're not missing moons anymore. We're going to do this.
Mhm.
And we've done okay so far.
Okay.
So
yeah,
you guys can join us in we're not missing moons anymore.
Yeah.
So let us know how moon stuff goes for you. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
No, that's very good. No, I love it. I love it. New moons are used for new intentions. So here's the thing. If you guys want to remove something from your life, really what you're saying is you're going to bring something in, right? So I'll just give you an example. Say that you're like, I really want to lose weight. So my intention is to lose weight, but it's a new moon and you're worried about how you phrase that. Then you just reverse the phrasing into something positive. Like, I want to bring health and my ideal weight into my life. So it's a different way to say it. And I think, you want to utilize as much as you can in harmony with the planets to create your intentions. Now, listen, as my dear departed teacher once said, one of them, Lesha Hudu Semois, he used to say, listen, do the work whenever you got to do the work. Don't worry about what the planets are in, what's going on. But if you can plan for the work that you want to do, the manifestations you want to do, try to work with the planets, know where they are, know what's going on. And, you can always hear it here. There's other astrologers out there that can tell you, but we give you the good stuff. So
we love a good correspondence and we love layering them.
We love a good correspondence. I love that. There's a couple of things I wanted to mention that are in Earth signs this month. So On June 8th, the planet Mars, which is all about action and passions and desires and your work, your purpose, how you take action, is moving into the sign of Taurus. Now, for those of you who know our Tauruses, they can be stubborn.
No.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Stubborn. They're a fixed sign, so they want things the way they want them. With Mars, where you may get into battles around that time, if, because again, it's the war planet, if you want to say Mars, someone may not be able to be convinced of your intentions, if you're trying to convince them to move in a different way, people might give you a hard time. They're going to be a little resistant to that.
Mm-hmm.
But with Mars also being in Taurus, this means you can take action on things that are of the material, because Taurus likes things to look a certain way. It's ruled by the planet Venus. So Taurus likes things to look a certain way, to be a certain way. They like their home to look a certain way, things like that. So if you want to do some revisions to your home, to your looks, to anything like that, this is a good time to do it. Take the action, but also know, like, you might be trying to say to somebody, like, say, for example, you're a hairdresser out there and you're like, this cut would look great on you. They might battle you on it a little bit. So it's not going to be as easy to get that action moving. But when you do, it's practical. It's day-to-day stuff. It can be your money. It can be your job. So it's a good time to take action in those areas.
For someone who is say, Aries sun, Aries moon, Taurus rising, would this maybe impact them more, or is it not necessarily that? I'm trying to remember how you can look at it in your chart.
Sure. Yeah. So if your ascendant or your rising sign is Taurus, like someone we may know,
somebody,
it's going to be hitting your ascendant. It's going to be hitting your rising sign. So really, you also want to take action. It may be about how you are viewed in the world. So it can be appearance, but it can also be like you take a chance at work.
Yeah.
You speak up about something. You show them, you come up with an idea that they hadn't thought of before. Those are all things that you can do with it being on your ascendant. So it's how you're appearing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome question, Josie. You're awesome question. I love it.
Them all.
It worked. On June 21st, we got a full moon in Capricorn. Now, full moons are endings. They also are the pinnacle of energy for the moon. And we know the moon is about emotions and intuition. So you might be picking up on things around you. Again, they might not be necessarily spiritual breakthroughs because it is in the practical sign of Capricorn. It may be things around your reputation, right? How people are viewing you, how you're seen in your career, your purpose in life. So this is sort of a little bit higher than, hey, how are you doing at your job?
Yeah.
People at this time may decide to change careers.
Mm-hmm.
They may decide that they're tired of being viewed a certain way at work.
Mm-hmm.
So that could kind of not blow up, but it could be a little,
shake things up.
Thank you. That you understood what that was. Thank you.
That's why we do this together.
You, Jules, you can. But that full moon in Capricorn is going to be a tiny bit intense, just because the Capricorn, if you know Capricorns out there, again, they are intense. They are the goat. They can be stubborn, but they are also very good at what they do.
Yes.
Right. So they will dig into things. And this may be a time where you're digging into what you want to be happening in your career or your life purpose. So this may be a time to think about things you may want to release. That the full moon is a good ending, so you can release it. So again, it's right. So let's take the weight loss example again. Instead of saying, I'm bringing in great health, you can say, I'm releasing anything that's holding me back from my perfect ideal weight. Right.
Could be a good time to work on any kind of like perfectionism or like imposter syndrome you want to let go of, especially around like in public spaces, maybe.
Well, that was perfect, Jules.
Maybe we write that down and work on it ourselves.
Yeah,
really.
I think
yeah.
So.
Put
We'll
it
go
in
back and listen. Love. It's true. Now let's talk about some of the stuff that's happening in water signs. All right. Okay. So on June 16th, Venus moves into the sign of Cancer. And on June 17th, Mercury moves into the sign of Cancer. All right. Our Cancerians are very emotional. And I actually had someone describe this to me about Cancerians. They will love you, love you, love you. But if you hurt them, you must die. And They get a little intense. Yeah, that's it. They're because they're just very hurt. They're just so like wounded.
Yeah.
Hurt. So with it being in Cancer, Venus and Mercury,
Mhm.
you may have some very flowery, very beautiful things that you're going to say to people that you love, or you may inadvertently step on someone's toes. You may say things that they may go, wait, what? Or, you may be feeling really just happy to be at home, happy to be around people that you love, feeling your safety, your security. And this is a time to work on that. It may be also a time to express what will make you feel safe and secure because of that Mercury in Cancer.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. And with Venus in Cancer, that you can take some time to beautify the home or the place that you consider home.
Yeah.
Because, Cancerians like to be home. They like their space to be sacred. And so that's a really cool thing. But again, because Cancer is a sensitive sign, if you step on someone's toes or you maybe say something inadvertently, or you're having an argument, you say something intentionally, it's maybe a good time to go back and apologize because you're just going to feel some heightened energy.
Yeah.
And then the summer solstice comes on June.
Woo!
Yeah. Longest day of the year, guys. It's the longest light of the year. Summer solstice is also when the sun moves into the sign of Cancer. So now we've talked about Venus being in Cancer.
Oh, wow.
Mercury, and now the sun. So again, it's one of those things of bringing joy and happiness in your life. But also now we also know the moon is in opposition. So Cancerians are opposite of Capricorns. Every sign has an opposite.
Mhm.
So if we have the full moon in Capricorn and the sun in Cancer, it's like a couple fighting, it's a moon fighting, right? But what they're doing is challenging each other. So they're challenging each other to look at what is the balance between career and home. What does that mean? Right? At a core, what does your home mean to you? Right? And emotionally, what does your career mean to you? And how do you find the balance between the two? So you may be analyzing that like, hey, I really want to work from home. You just had it with going in the office, or somehow you start a home business. Maybe that can be another thing you can do, but just know that there's a little bit of tension there just because they're opposite. And, with June 21st being the full moon, it's going to be very heightened. So again, watch those emotions, bite your tongue a little bit. If you want to tell someone you love them, go for it. It's a good time. So, and help people feel safe and secure and loved. That's important. Yeah. And the other thing that's coming up is on June 29th, Saturn, which is, I look at that as the father planet a lot of times. Some astrologers don't. They think the sun is. Sometimes I look at it as Saturn, depending on someone's chart.
Yeah.
So we have this very boundary-driven, rule-driven planet of Saturn. I call him Father Time.
Okay.
Karmic, right? Now it's going to go retrograde in Pisces. Now that's an emotional sign also, Pisces.
Yeah.
With it going in retrograde, you're going to have to reflect on what about what you're doing could be really spiritual, really beautiful, really artistic. And maybe you have to reflect on what that means to you.
Yeah.
Also, maybe a time to reflect on if you're overindulging, if you're, because Pisces I call them the artists or the addicts, which I know isn't quite fair, but it can be. I dive into poetry and music and all this stuff to escape, or I dive into sex, drugs, rock and roll to escape.
Sure.
So Saturn's going to ask you to look in your heart until November and look in your life and where are the places you can adjust where you're out of balance with how you cope with life. So it's creating new structures for you. It also can help you be very creative. Pisces is a very creative sign, but it may be poking at you a little bit of like, hey, you're kind of checking out of that and you shouldn't be doing that. My recommendation would be is that this is a time to reflect. This is a time to maybe even acknowledge if you have something to work on that's a little raw and touchy. Well, you don't maybe have to work on it right now, but at least you can say, oh, I recognize that. I'm just going to hold on to it for a minute, but at least I know that's something in my life. Or if you've also put down a hobby that's very spiritual or very artistic, you may dive right back in because your heart is calling you. But the point is that this is a lot about structure.
Yeah.
And this is a lot about what your structure you're bringing into your life. And Pisces energy is kind of reminding you like, well, are you escaping? Are you your head in
Interesting.
clouds? Are you not acknowledging what's happening? Or are
Yeah.
you taking a spiritual path or maybe a creative artistic path to work out your stuff? This is a longer transit. Saturn moves a bit slower, so that'll go through November. So what you're probably going to see during that time is you reflecting and saying, oh, well, now I'm going to go to the gym in the morning, or I'm going to do something for myself in the morning, or I'm going to draw every day. You know what I mean? It's like one of the things where you're putting stuff in place for yourself. If you're going over old ground, that's okay too. It's all right.
Well, right, because it's in retrograde, right?
Correct.
So that's about like reflecting and reassessing and
Yeah. I mean, we don't like retrograde so much. I mean, because we're kind of tainted by Mercury retrograde. I love that you call it Mercury retro shade.
that's what. So we have to give that to Lignato, that on the outside of the actual retrograde, that like the buildups and the drop off, she calls the retro shade, which I think is great.
I love it. Jessica Lignato. Yes.
Yay.
She's amazing. So yeah. So Mercury retro shade. You brought that into our lives, Jules. Thank you. So Saturn retrograde isn't as bad as Mercury, where so many things get messed up as far as communication and travel, but it does kind of put some pressure on you to reflect. So like, if you're like, oh, I'll do that later. Saturn's going to be like, oh, no, you don't. You may have to carve some and put it aside, but like Saturn's going to be like, hey, you put that aside. Like, you gonna do anything about that? You know, it's not going to let you sit on it for too long, but you can maybe, if it's something that you really have to work on, you say, okay, I'll put that aside for a second and put it in a little container and nurture it a little bit so I can deal with it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Why do I feel like this month's astrology is just going to read me left and right?
We're getting read to filth again. Is that
just read to filth? Right. Be like, do you really? Did you put that off again this month? And I'll be like, oh.
I have to tell you, so I'm going to do a side note, as we do sometimes. Side note.
Yeah.
So Julie and I were on last night chatting, and she pulled out a tarot deck that she called, what did you call it? The Cozy Tarot?
It's the Cozy Witch Tarot deck. It's super cute. Amanda Lovelace did it.
It read us to filth.
Dude, in the past, we were always like, this is a really nice tarot deck. I don't know that it's given us what we really want. Yes, it was just like, oh, you don't think that a sweet, cozy deck full of niceness can just give you the business? Here you go.
So we were read to filth by that deck.
Just to filth.
Read to filth. So, you know, sometimes you got to pull out those tarot cards and just be ready for them to tell you what's what.
Even if you think it's your nice deck, even if you leave your sassy, mean deck off to the side because you don't feel like you're ready for it, you cannot escape it.
So there's our little side note for you guys. Just, you know, if you think you can get away with stuff, sometimes the spirit world's like,
I don't know that you can.
I'm just going to wait because I'm
right.
That 2x4 in a minute. Yeah. So this is how we evolve, guys. We go through our stuff and we keep working on it. It's a lifelong journey. And
That's
I know
right.
it is, but you're doing it. We're doing it. We're here with you. So there we go. So Jules, this was a very packed show.
I know. I'm excited. We hadn't done this in a little while. I'm like, oh, back on the horse. Let's go.
Exactly. Guys, we're going to be back every month. We have June already planned out for what we're going to talk about. We have some things around, you know, a little bit more about intentional rest. We've got the end of the month of July forecast. We're going to talk about how you get to know yourself. And also, we're going to have a show on Santissima Muerte. She is part of the Traveling Soul Sanctuary. The temple is called Our Lady of Shadows Temple in Boston. So we're going to talk about her so you get to know her a bit. I love her very much. So you'll get to hear more about her. So we really have a packed June, which we're very excited to present to you. But also, we love to hear from you.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please email us at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com. What do you want us to talk about? What do you have questions about, comments about? Do you just want us to read your email about whatever? We will. We love you guys.
Yeah.
And we want to empower you to write us, please. Or just, you know.
Exactly.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, if we want you guys to write us, give us some feedback. Let us know that the show is for you. We love
Yes.
it together because Julie and I just love chatting away with each other, but also we love to chat for you. And if there's things that you want to know about or learn, or if you have some questions about what we've talked about in astrology or the intentional rest, or you've even done it, or you've noticed something, please tell us. We'd love to hear.
Please, how did it go? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So High Priestess Hype Club at gmail.com is how you can get in touch with us. We're also on the social medias, the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook. You can reach us through there. Y'all know how to find us.
And if you forget, it'll tell you again in just a minute. Yay!
So
we love you guys.
Love you guys. And just always remember, you are magic. Bye, guys.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at High Priestess Hype Club, and subscribe to us on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on now, because we're back every Thursday to hype you up. Email us at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com and tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.